with the inclusion of the iPad into my classroom, it became an item that really was a mediating artifact that mediated positive social interactions. When I say that, it sort of made my room have more of a feel of a community. Children who didn't normally, really have a place to play or a place like a group to go to or people to play with really found a spot. I mean, there were small little groups all over my room. Even if they weren't on the iPad, there was a group of kids that were playing together. And oftentimes I found that usually always when you free play, there's always one or two kids that likes to do something either by themselves or do free play or art. And, that's more than allowed. And we, encourage that. But with the iPad, everybody had a little place to go. They had a little nook that they could go. I mean, there were, the groups that were huddled over the iPad, there was usually only like 4 or 5 kids there. And then if they weren't on the iPad, they had a little group. There would be a little group of like 3 or 4, and they would build forts, and they would build fortresses and walls, and they would have their own little area. And there were little areas of building blocks, and there were little areas of, playing in the dress center and in the living center. And usually, before the iPad, there was never really any organization. There was never really any groups that hung out or any little areas in my room during free play. It was very chaotic. It was very loud, very unstructured. And it seemed that having this iPad made it more have the groups and quieter, and there wasn't a lot of conflict. I mean, all I saw was positive interactions. And like I said before, they solved their own problems when they were at the iPad. Everybody knew whose turn it was. And so that really wasn't a problem. And they really worked together to help each other figure out how to solve a problem on the iPad. And a lot of times I saw the iPad being used as kind of a toy. So, I found it when it was in the living center. They put it in the oven. I saw that, and I don't know what they were doing with it, but it was put in the oven, and it came back out. It was used to. There were games on there that you could, make dresses, or you could do fashion, and they were making these things, and then they were taking. I have, a lot of material for them to make things with, and they were making little things for the stuffed animals. And everybody seemed to get along much better when the iPad was there. So, there was a sense of community in my classroom. It was great.